I think they've got world-class players. You know, you look at Cook and Root, they're two of the best batsmen in the world. You've got Broad and Anderson, two of the best bowlers in the world. And then you've got, I think Johnny Bairstow's a good player, and Moeen Ali's really improved over the last couple of years. So they've got enough players to do some damage. I think in between that, they've got some inexperience and vulnerability, and their squad probably hasn't got the depth that maybe could have had. The big problem for England is if one of their quicks gets injured, I think that will leave a big hole in their squad.
Oh, bowled him. That's a good length from Broad. He's got it right today.
I think if one of those guys get injured, I can't see England winning. And even without Stokes, it puts a massive dent in their lineup, because he was really the X-factor guy, the go-to man for Joe Root. I think in some ways he might have got in some of the Australian players' mentality, because he goes at you pretty hard, he has a chat, and he can put you off your game. So if he's not coming, then that's a big loss.
Beautiful, clean strike over mid-on. Whoa, the ball's hitting the middle of this boy's bat.
You want the best team to play in the Ashes series, and I think even as players, the Australian guys would have enjoyed the prospect of playing against Ben Stokes, because you want to test yourself out against the best. In some ways it becomes a little bit hollow if you're not beating the best opposition side. I mean, you can only deal with what's put on the park, but it's a shame if it doesn't come. The crowds would have enjoyed it. He would have got back into the crowds. There would have been a few verbals, maybe a bit like Stuart Broad in the last tour. And Ian Botham used to cop it. There's always one English player that comes in for a bit of stick, and we might have to pick another player now if Ben Stokes doesn't turn up.
Guess who's bowling? Could be a chance. Oh, it's a close shot. The Ashes are underway.
Cook will have a tough series, particularly against Mitchell Starc. I think he's still a very good player, but I don't think he's a player he was a couple of years ago. Having said that, he knows how to make runs at level. He's got an amazing record, but against Starc and Hazelwood and Cummins, they'll really test him out, and he'll have to be on his best game. And for England to do well in this series, he needs to score a lot of runs and occupy the crease.
That's brilliant. Well, that's a wonderful stroke.
He knows he can score runs against anyone, but the big question is the swinging ball. If you get knocked over a couple of times in the first Test match, you'll have some doubts in his mind. So Australia will really focus in on Cook and Root at the top of the order. If they can knock those guys over cheaply, then it does expose the middle order, which has been their strength in the last couple of years.
Oh, straight away! England have lost their first wicket with the first ball of the innings.